timeless and elegant. These are the two words that perfectly describe the Volkswagen Vento. The Vento has been a really strong competitor in the mid-size sedan segment, and that's due to the fact that Volkswagen has been updating the car time and again, and also due to its appeal to us enthusiasts. Now in 2020, Volkswagen has given it another great engine just like its predecessors 1.2 TSi. So, hey guys, what's up? I'm Sriniket. You're watching my YouTube channel Sri Productions, and today let's check out the 2020 BS6 Volkswagen Vento 1 liter TSi. Let's get started.
Styling of the Vento has been largely unchanged even after the BS6 update, as it retains the same design as that of the facelift that it got in 2019. Up front, you get the Polo GTI inspired LED DRLs, LED headlamps and a GTI inspired front bumper. 16-inch alloys are standard fitment in higher trims. It retains the same LED tail lamps, and unlike the Polo, it gets a honeycomb grille design on the lower part of the rear bumper. So while its competitors are trying to look sharp and edgy, the Vento looks understated and contemporary. Despite it being launched in 2020, it does not get the new VW logo.
In terms of the interiors, the BS6 Vento is identical to its BS4 predecessor. So you get the exact same dual tone interior with hard touch plastics all around. But let me tell you, despite that, the fit and finish and the build quality of the interior is absolutely top notch, and it's arguably one of the best in the competition. It gets a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system which is standard with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And the one thing which the Polo misses out on but the Vento gets is a reverse parking camera. One more neat feature is that it gets manually adjustable steering wheel which is adjustable for reach as well as rake, which is a neat feature. The steering wheel is this nice leather wrapped flat bottom unit and gets piano black touches on the spokes. It gets controls for the infotainment system on the left and controls to toggle with the display inside the instrumentation. Coming to the instrument console, it gets a huge analog tachometer on the left and an analog speedometer on the right. And in the center, it gets a small screen which is not an LCD colored unit, but it displays a lot of trip-related information. Below the touchscreen infotainment system, you get the auto climate controls. Below that are two small cup holders and a big cubby hole. But there's no specific place to keep your smartphone in that area. Next to it is a 12-volt socket for charging your smartphones and other devices. And then is the gear lever with that new 6-speed transmission for that 1 liter TSi. Behind that is the manual handbrake, above which is the central armrest. Now it is adjustable for its positions, and it does get a small cubby hole inside which can fit in large smartphones as well. Now in the top trims you get leather seats, and the driver seat is adjustable for height, of course manually. You get auto dimming inside rear view mirror and internally adjustable, electronically adjustable wing mirrors. The door cards are the same as the Polo, but you do get beige inserts on the top side of the door cards. You do not get any leather inserts on the handrests, but you do get a 1 liter bottle holder on the front doors, not on the rears. Now one thing to note is that the door card storage space is slightly bigger on the Vento on the rear doors compared to the Polo. One more neat feature which is available in most of the Volkswagens is that you get single touch window operation for all 4 windows, which is a great thing which can reduce your distraction and you can focus more on driving. Now let's hop into the back seat of the Vento to find out how it is. In case of the Vento, the ingress and egress is quite easy for the rear seats as well, because the door opening is nice and wide and the door again opens nice and wide. And you get this nice reassuring German thud from the door when you close it. Now coming to the comfort on the seats, the under thigh support and the headroom is a bit lacking, but again it's a sloping sedan, so the headroom is again a bit compromised in all of its competitors also. Again, the under thigh support is a little bit lacking, but that's due to the seats being quite low. The knee room is quite adequate, I'd say. It's not lice reading, but it's again at least better than the Polo. You get adjustable headrests and a central armrest, which I can't show you right now due to obvious reasons. You get a air conditioning vent on the central console. Below that is the same foldable 1 liter bottle holder, which is a bit flimsy. Below that is a 12-volt charging socket. Now the door cards are pretty much the same as that of the Polo, but you do get these base inserts. There is no leather trim on the handrest again, but you do get the single touch window down functionality, and you do get these map lights up top just above you. That's another neat addition. One more neat feature is that you can push or pull the passenger side front seat using this toggle sitting behind as well, so that the guy sitting beside can have the maximum amount of legroom and sit like in a nice luxury limousine. Then again, this can be used as a sofa-driven sedan, and a lot of guys use it that way as well. For that, good rear seats.
Despite its price tag, the Vento misses out on a sunroof, which can be a concern for a few people. You don't get accent lights, but lights are present in footwells up front. The boot space is 454 liters, which is lower than its competition, but it's adequate for long trips, so no issues there. Getting the Vento off the line is quite easy, as the engine offers decent bottom end torque and the clutch is on the softer side, with the biting point being in the middle of the pedal travel. You'll be surprised by the refinement on the new 1.0L TSi, as it has next to no vibrations and a 3-cylinder rumble even at idle. The new 6-speed gearbox is precise, but you'll have to put in a bit of effort to shift it into gears.
So I've been driving the Vento for a while, and let me tell you, if you are someone who is driving a 3-cylinder car for a long time, you will be shocked by the amount of refinement that this engine can deliver. I mean, right now I'm in 3rd gear, doing around 2,500 RPM. And I can barely hear the engine, and most importantly, barely hear the engine. Because a common complaint in 3-cylinder cars is that a lot of vibes can be felt on the steering wheel, which is simply not the case in case of the Vento. But yes, I can feel a little bit of vibrations on the gear lever. Okay, so pulling it. Okay. If you rev it hard in the 1st and 2nd gear, you can definitely hear that peculiar 3-cylinder sound, which will give you a slight idea that a really small engine lives under the hood. But judging by the pull that this engine can deliver, especially in a car which weighs as much as the Vento, it is really, really impressive. And let me tell you, the stock tune is really impressive. Just think about how much a tuner can add to the experience. Because a simple ECU remap can get you at least 140 horses. And the power delivery is really nice. It pulls really strongly past 2,500 RPM, below which there's a little bit of lag. But yes, keep it below its red line and above 2,500 RPM, and you'd be really happy. Now recently I drove the 1-liter MPI Polo, and I felt that the engine simply does not have the amount of power that the chassis needs. But this one, I'm more than satisfied. Okay, so I'm stuck behind a slow moving traffic, and yes, I'm in a higher gear, but still the engine does not struggle too much and listens to what you demand from it. Now the steering is one area where I felt a little bit unsatisfied, because at city speeds it's fairly light and it's very easy to use it, but a slightly heavier steering would be a better option, because don't forget, this is an enthusiast car. But at high speeds though, it does weigh up quite linearly, and that inspires a lot of confidence in you. It's not as dead, not as vague as a certain Korean car, let's be clear. Let's check out the turning radius. Yes, it's a little bit more than a Polo, considering that it's a slightly longer car. Now I've been going through some expansion joints on this flyover, and I can clearly tell that the suspension on this one has been engineered more for a softer ride, a more comfortable ride compared to the Polo. The damping on this one is really impressive, the rear end especially. It just soaks up the bumps really nicely. Now let's check out the brakes of this car. Yes, it's got really strong brakes, So in conclusion, the recent downsizing has not reduced the experience, has improved the experience. After the BS6 update, the price of the Vento has increased by an average of 10,000 rupees across the range. So it now starts at 8.86 lakhs for the base trendline variant and goes up to 13.29 lakhs for the top end Highline Plus automatic. One thing to note is that unlike the Polo, the Vento is available with the 1-liter TSi engine only, which is a great thing. So the question remains, is it still worth buying in 2020? Well, let me tell you, the Vento has always been an enthusiast sedan which can occasionally be used as a chauffeur-driven sedan. So the answer is obviously yes. And the addition of that new 1-liter TSi engine makes the deal even sweeter, but only for the enthusiasts. If you want features, look elsewhere. And also, if you're looking for the base variant of the Vento, the Skoda Rapid Rider is a much better option because it offers much more equipment compared to the base variant of the Vento, and also is priced at 1.3 lakh rupees cheaper than the Vento. But for the enthusiasts, again, the Vento is still the great option in this segment.
That's pretty much it from my side. Special thanks to VOLKSWAGEN AURANGABAD-DHOOT MOTORS for helping me out with the review for the Vento. Contact details are in the description.
Thanks for watching.